Welcome to Nattys Crafts. I'm Natalie. I'll be doing the crafts, and I'm so happy you could stop by today. Today, I'm super excited. So, I don't know why I'm so excited about this, but I'm making a plastic bag dispenser, which seems pretty easy, but I needed one, and I went to look to buy one, and they're like 10, 20 bucks. I'm not going to spend $10 for something that's going to hold disposable bags. So, I said no to that. I can make one. And I'm so excited by the one I made. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I'm also going to make a wall organizer. Haven't quite figured that one out yet, but working on it. So you'll see that to come as well. So again, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And if you would, go ahead and subscribe. Again, I have a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers, so I would love it if you would help me with that goal. And leave a comment below. And also like the video. If you like the video, I appreciate it. If you leave me a comment, I appreciate it. So go ahead and do that as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm so excited. All right, so we are going to be making this bag dispenser box. For this, we're going to need some sort of box. I got this holiday box from Dollar Tree during Christmas, so something like that works perfect. Hot glue gun, of course, and a cutter or X-Acto knife. And then a hanging, whatever you're going to hang it with. And then some paint, just regular white and black. I was making a gray one. And then Mod Podge would be helpful. And then some sort of decoration. I chose these ribbons, and I ended up using a different ribbon, and a knob or drawer pull for the top. A bead just to hold on your drawer pull. Some double-sided tape. This is the heavy-duty, like construction-style double-sided tape. And then, again, the knife, I already showed that, and sanding paper, and a drill, and then a drill bit. So we're going to start off by just cutting out a square where the bag is going to come out of. I thought about making a whole box, but there's a UPC box right there. So then I said, well, just cut out the UPC box. It's a great shape. So that's what I ended up doing there. Now, cutting out the little box there wasn't the easiest thing ever because this is a heavy-duty box. But if you go over it a few times, it will come out. Just obviously be careful because you are using, a utility knife or X-Acto knife or whatever. So just be careful. Don't cut yourself and, have to call ER or whatever. And then once we've got that all cut out, you do want to test it. Make sure the bags come through it nicely the way you're wanting. And once you're happy with the size of the hole, then go ahead and sand off the little edges. We're going to end up covering the edges with a glue gun, but just make sure, they're as smooth as possible. And here's where I go back and just use the glue gun to kind of, I don't know, I guess just mold that cardboard down so that it's smooth and not rough. And use your finger protectors, obviously, because this will burn you. And then we get to start decorating. So we're just going to paint. Again, I chose to go with this light gray that I just made out of that black and white paint. But this is where you get to choose what is best for your settings. So whatever colors you like in your home or wherever you're going to put this, that's what colors you would use. And I mixed chalk paint with acrylic paint, and somehow this was a great mix. I don't know why. It was nice and smooth and went on so nicely and looked so good. I was so excited over it. And we're just going to paint the complete box. The top, the whole box, all the way down, even into that little hole a little bit. And then here I'm doing the top. I'm using one of those little daubers from the Dollar Tree. Sorry you can't see it here. But just doing the top very carefully because I like the red interior, so I'm leaving that red. But I just wanted to get the very top of that box. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cover everything with Mod Podge. This will be an item that will be somewhat abused because of its purpose, so I did want to protect it, as much as I can. So we've got the Mod Podge out. And you can see, too, there on the edge where the bottom of the little deal there is red. I loved that, so I left that red and I did not paint that gray. And again, just Mod Podging the whole box, top and bottom. All right, and then we are going to paint the knob to open the box with black. So I had this little wooden knob from Walmart. There was a set of two, I don't know, it was probably $2 or $3. And I thought it was a good size for this box, but you could use a drawer pull or any other knob you might have around the house. And then after I paint it black, I'm also going to put Mod Podge on it. Again, just because of the purpose of this box, I want it to be protected. And then we're going to go ahead and add some ribbon to the top, to the box top. I believe this was from Walmart, probably after Christmas sale, I'm guessing. And I like that pattern, and it was a perfect size or a perfect width for this box top. So I'm just going to wrap it around, measure it all the way around, and then cut it. And then we're going to use a double-sided tape just to start and finish the ribbon. This is like some kind of heavy-duty stuff. You don't need that. You could just use the regular stuff from Dollar Tree. The jute double-sided tape would probably be okay just to hold it, because it's just a temporary hold until we can get the ribbon glued on. So again, that tape is just for a temporary hold until we can get the glue down. And we're just going to use a little bit of hot glue on each corner, not in the middle where you'll see it, just on the corners. And you can see I have my little wet nap there because I put too much, because I'm obnoxious like that. So I just had to wipe some of that hot glue off. And then again, just in each corner, just a little bit of hot glue. And this will hold that ribbon real nice and firm against that box, make it look really nice. And then at the end there, again, the double-sided tape is there, so then you can go ahead and cut off the end, and then we will worry about or fix the end part there, where we're going to fold it under. First, let's go ahead and tape down the corners of that ribbon. That's what we'll do first. And that's where I burned my finger. And then we're going to bend over the edge of that ribbon and then glue that down. And if I would have had finger protectors, I would have been, you know, better off, but I didn't. And so there's that, all finished up. This is the back of the box, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but, you know, as good as you can make it. And here we're going to do the drawer pull or handle. So we're going to just find the middle, and I'm just going to drill a small hole through the middle. And be careful here, because when it went through it, it kind of scared me a little bit. But once you've got that hole, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually add a bead to the screw, because, you know, it's meant to go through a drawer. So it's obviously a box is not nearly as thick as a drawer. So I just added a bead, and then we're just going to poke that through and then screw the handle, or is that called a handle? Drawer pull? Whatever that is, screw that in. And I do end up having to use the drill because, you know, it does need to be tight on there. So we'll go ahead and drill that on. And then that's all done. And then we can, you know, put it together. Again, I love that red, the red edges. Not that you're ever going to see it, but when you're the person taking the bags out, putting the bags in, it's cute. It's just, you know, it's a little added touch. And then last was just adding that hanger. Now the hanger, you know, obviously it's a box. It's not a big wood plaque. So I put some hot glue to cover those little pointy parts out. And then I also added a piece of foam, the foam sticky tape on there as well. So here is the finished project. And I absolutely love this. I don't know why I'm so excited about this. I just think it's just the cutest thing ever. I love the colors, I guess, and the simplicity of it. But I just love it. And my husband wasn't nearly as excited as I was, but my goodness, look at this. It's so cute. All right, and then we're going to make this cute wall organizer. And for this, we're going to need 2 of those Dollar Tree Crafter Square adhesive cork sheet sheets and some sort of hanging thing. So this came from Walmart in the paint section. You could use a Dollar Tree baking rack as well, probably. And then 2 wood puzzles. And then one of the hanging hooks from Dollar Tree. Now this little wood piece is for chalk, but I don't know what it was originally for. And then a little organizer from Dollar Tree, and then the clips. So those are from Crafter's Square, and then these are actually from Dollar General. They're a little bit bigger. I did like the little bit bigger ones. Then of course your glue gun, your favorite paintbrush, and chalkboard paint is important for this one, so you need some chalkboard paint, and then just regular black paint, and then any kind of glue you could find. So super glue, Gorilla Glue, anything stronger than either of those, E6000, whatever. So I'm just going to start off by cleaning off this little, I don't know what this is, basket. What is this? A little container here. And then we're going to paint it black. And it doesn't need, I mean, this one only needed 1 coat. Since it's not completely clear, I guess that's why it only needed 1 coat. But just 1 coat was good for me, and just make sure it's smooth. And then I'm going to also Mod Podge it so that that black paint doesn't chip off, since that material was plastic. Probably should have Mod Podged it first, but you know, whatever. And then for the wood puzzles, now this was not what I was intending when I bought these. I bought these from a discount store, not the Dollar Tree ones. The Dollar Tree ones would have been better. But that's okay, I made do. It was so cute. They gave me this little itty bitty little sandpaper sheet. But anyway, I'm going to glue these together because there were 2 that came in this little set. Normally on the puzzles at Dollar Tree, you would just glue the puzzle pieces into the backing. Then we're going to take this little tray here. This was from a Jenga set, I guess, and I'm just going to stain it a dark brown color. It's going to hold our chalk, basically. And then you want to fill in all of the spaces in the puzzle with the spackle or wood filler. And I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to my camera here, but once it was all dry, I just went back and I painted it with that chalk paint. This is going to be our chalkboard. And then I added foam squares to the other one of these so that cork board would have something a little bit thicker so that the pins can go through a little easier. So then I'm going to add the cork and just going to measure around that piece there and just cut that cork out. Basically, so it's a perfect fit. You want a perfect fit here. And there's going to be 2 of these. We're going to use 2 of these cork sheets for this, and we're going to put them together, stick them together basically, because they are adhesive. And then once we've stuck them together and our foam is on our wood board, we're then going to put the adhesive on there. And I'm going to make a backing so that both the chalkboard and the cork board has a backing so it's stronger. So I'm just using an old box that we had received some stuff in. And just measuring it out, cutting it out, and then making sure the outsides are the best size is what I was doing there. And then we're going ahead and gluing that down to make sure that it's even and solid. We want it to be very strong. And then we're just going to cut off any edges that are hanging over. Like I had a little bit of an edge there I didn't like. So I'm just going over and cutting out all that edge, all that extra edge. And it ended up being easier somehow by going up and down versus laying it flat on my cutting mat. I don't know why that was easier. And then we get to start putting it together. So there's lots of pieces to this. So it's basically however you want to do it. I'm going to add the little thing, the chalk holder first, using super glue as well as hot glue. Now this took a minute for me to figure out because it kept falling because it is standing straight up and it's, you know, like 2 feet tall or something. But once I figured it out, I was able to get the hot glue to hold it long enough, and me to hold it long enough. Then we have to figure out the measurement for the hanging rack. And it's basically just going to go right in the middle. And I am going to use zip ties for this because there are 2 holes in that coat hanger thing. So we're going to use zip ties and Gorilla Glue and hot glue. So all 3. We're going to go over abundance here. And here's where I'm adding that Gorilla Glue. And again, you could use E6000 or super glue here too. That should be fine. And then on the last 2 rungs, I'm going to add hot glue. Just, again, for that instant hold. Even though probably my zip ties were kind of the instant hold. But, you know, I always have to do extra. So here's my extra. Okay, there's my hot glue. And then we're just going to hold that firm in place until we can get it to dry enough so that we can tighten those zip ties. And then we're just going to turn everything over because now we got to connect these 2 pieces together. So there's a little piece of that hanging rack that's sticking out. So I'm going to connect that first once I've got it in the right place. And I want these to be level at the top. So there's my double-sided heavy-duty construction tape. So I'm going to put that on the hanging rack. And then I'm going to stick that down first. Then I'm going to add a whole boatload of hot glue. Because, you know, you got to do everything with hot glue. And then I'm just going to put a piece of masking tape over that just to kind of hold all that together. And while that is solid, then I'm going to add some popsicle or large super jumbo craft sticks to make sure it's stable because I don't want this falling apart. So I'm going to use a couple of those actually to make it, again, just make it as stable as possible so it does not fall apart. And that's it when it's all standing up. Now some of these edges, probably go back and paint the edges or add some wood dowels maybe would be a good idea. But here I'm going to add the backing to cover the back of that box. Just some craft paper. And on the edges, because the edges will still show, so I'm just going to do those edges, just cover those edges in black. And then once all of that, the corners are black, I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue that craft paper down. And then you're all set there. And then I'm just going to add the little basket. Now I did have to use my wood burning tool to create those holes in that little basket. But if you have like a heavy duty hole punch or something, that would probably work. Then we are going to get the chalkboard ready. So we have to, you know, smear it with chalk first and then just wipe that off. And then your chalkboard should be all ready to use. Alright, so here's our wall organizer. And so you've got your little chalkboard, you've got a little cup to hold your pens or whatever, you've got hooks for your keys, I'm hanging our masks on the wall, we've got the cork board to put your grocery lists. I mean, it's a great idea. You've seen probably many other people do these kind of organizers, and I really like it. So I thank you so much for stopping by and taking a look. I love these crafts today. They were kind of a lot of fun. I really like that bag dispenser, so I do appreciate you watching. And of course, I would love it if you would subscribe, also comment on the video, and then also give me the thumbs up. That's what I appreciate the most. So thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by. You have a great one.